Today's lesson is topic writing. How to write about yourself. Hi, everybody. My name is Roger.
And I'm Penny.
And today our topic writing unit for the month of November is all about writing about yourself. In class, your teacher may give you an assignment to write an essay about none other than yourself. And you can talk about yourself in different ways. You can talk about your background, where and how you grew up. Or you can talk about your personality, what kind of person you are. Or you can talk about your hobbies or interests. Maybe you're interested in playing the piano or you like traveling. These are various ways to describe yourself in an essay.
好，我们这次的主题是写作呢，是关于如何自我介绍。我们其实不管是要升学啊，或者是求职找工作呢，有时都会需要提供自传或者是自我介绍的时候，那我们这边要练习的时候，我们可以先想想看，最想要让别人知道自己的地方。那你可以从你的成长背景啊、个性啊、嗜好，像你的一些荣誉啊、经历这些的。那我们从这些方面去形塑别人得到的印象，要特别注意，我们这是要让别人认识我们，然后留下深刻印象，所以千万不要用流水账那种方式哦，我出生在哪里，我在哪里毕业，然后我得过什么奖，然后就这样子流水账一样一样这样讲下来，就不会让人印象深刻。所以当你讲这些生长经历啊，或者是你的嗜好等等，是要特别带出你个人的特质，让别人对你留下好的印象哦。那我们现在就来进行写作练习吧。好，我们现在要下笔之前呢，可以先做一点脑力激荡，也就是说你可以做一点笔记啊，然后可能用条列式啊，或者是像树状图那种去想想看你想要带给别人什么样的印象。那也许你可以分类，例如说你想要提到你的背景 background， 你想要提到你的 personality， 你的个性性格，你想要提到你的 hobby 嗜好等等。那可以在这些主题项目之下，你再做一些小细项的一些笔记，提醒自己说可以怎么样提供这各个面向的陈述。好，那接着我们就来看看我们这个课文范例呢，它经过脑力激荡之后是怎么来描述它的这个成长背景的。
Okay, so the sample essay we have for you today is written by a person who was an only child. So this person is describing his or her background. It reads,I'm an only child. During my childhood, I lived with my parents in an apartment building in which few other kids were residents. In addition, my mom went back to her accounting job after I started 6th grade. So I had no choice but to spend a lot of time by myself after school. Now, notice in this paragraph, the person comes straight to the point. The person does not beat around the bush. The person basically tells us what this essay is going to be about. I'm an only child. And then our writer goes on to describe his or her childhood. This person spent a lot of time by him or herself. There weren't a lot of other kids in the apartment building, so this child did not have many opportunities to play with other kids. Mom went back to her accounting job, so of course our writer had to spend a lot of time by him or herself.
好，那我们现在来看看这个课文范例。他一开始就是写到说自己是独子、独生子，那么童年呢就跟父母一起住，旁边也很少有小孩。然后呢，甚至妈妈在他6年级的时候呢就回去工作了，所以他也别无选择，就只能独自度过很多时间。那特别注意，我们现在在谈这个成长背景啊，就是说啊，我是独子啊，我都一个人过。接下来并不是要带出，例如说都没有人陪我玩啊，然后我很孤僻或什么的。我们重点是要带出个人特质，让人印象深刻。所以呢，待会你就要想想看怎么承接这个段落，然后让自己看起来是个很突出的。好，那我们接着来看看有一个换你写写看的例子。假设是另外一个完全不一样的情境，也许你可以说，根据我爸妈的说法呢，我一直都很喜欢成为众人关注的焦点。可能2、3岁的时候呢，就很爱看人家的那种 MV 音乐录影带啊，去模仿歌手的演唱舞步，似乎是 天生就有这种表演本能。好像这样呢，你也是从2-3岁这种幼儿时期就很爱表演，然后去带出自己的性格好像很外向啊，然后很有表演欲这样子。那我们请 Roger 老师帮我们讲讲看这个情境的范例。
Here it says, according to my parents, I always liked to be the center of attention. When I was only 2 years old, I already loved to watch music videos and to try to copy the vocals and dance moves of the singers. It seems that I had a natural instinct to perform. So again, that's what this essay is going to be all about. The person likes to perform, and the sentences before this sentence kind of built up the topic by talking about being the center of attention, liking to watch music videos, and copying the vocals and the dance moves of the singers like Michael Jackson or somebody like that. So as a result of all those things, hey, I have this natural instinct, this inborn ability to perform, to be an actor, a singer, whatever.
好，我们刚刚提供这两个情境真的是截然不同。那我们现在要回到这个课文范例呢，我们看看他怎么把一个人独处，他大部分的时间都是自己一个人，那怎么样去带出个人特质？所以他可能会讲说，这个独处让我学会照顾自己啊，找到自己的嗜好，然后可能他的嗜好是看漫画，甚至之后他就开始自己创作故事、画漫画之类的。好，那我们来看看课文范例他怎么写。
Okay, so we're again back to the original essay of being an only child. The essay continues. Spending time solo taught me how to take care of myself better than some kids can. And it also led me to pursue some interesting hobbies. I started reading various mangas, and one of my favorites was haiku. I even started illustrating and writing stories of my own. So again, this is continuing on the topic of being an only child, and our writer spent a lot of time solo or alone. And if you spend a lot of time solo or alone, you learn to take care of yourself, probably better than other kids can take care of themselves. And then, of course, you'll have some interesting hobbies. In this particular case, the writer liked to read mangas. Those, of course, are Japanese comic books. And the writer's favorite, or at least one of the writer's favorites, was haiku. And then, of course, if you like manga, you're probably going to come up with your own ideas. You can illustrate or draw pictures, and you can write stories and depict those stories in comic book form.
好，所以在这个课文范例中呢，独处为这个作者他所带来的好处就是他学会自己照顾自己。他说 spending time solo 就是自己独自一个人独处这样子 taught me how to 怎么样怎么样，教我如何怎么样，然后也说到说 it also led me to pursue some interesting hobbies， 这些句型都可以学起来。 something leads you to do something， 某事导致你去做那样的事情。好，然后呢他这边就提到说他可能有喜爱漫画，然后他就甚至开始画插画，然后写自己的故事，所以这些都是正面影响，就是会照顾自己，培养一些嗜好，然后甚至开始做自己的创作这样子。那在我们刚刚换你写写看的情境，你可以接着去带出你因为有这样的表演欲，那后续有什么样的发展？可能去带出你有一些演出的训练啊、经历等等，可能你有在众人面前表演的经历，还有你对这些表演的喜好等等。所以也许你可以写说，对表演的喜欢呢，使得爸妈帮我报名参加这种歌唱舞蹈课程。那不久后呢，我就开始在当地的儿童剧场演出戏剧啊，演出音乐剧。那定期在观众的面前演出，你感到怎么样？你可能是很刺激的、很有趣的。你非常喜欢这样的表演感受，那我们接着请 Roger 老师帮我们就是讲讲看这个换你写写看可以怎么说。
So again, the essay that you might write is concerning your instinct to perform. So your parents found that out when you were a kid. So what happened after that? Well, here you might write, this love of performing led my parents to enroll me in singing and dance classes. Soon after that, I began acting in plays and musicals at the local children's theater. It was so fun and exciting to act in front of an audience on a regular basis. Therefore, you were on your way to becoming a star in Hollywood.
好，那我们看完这2部分的范例呢，那我们接下来当然就是要做总结咯，就是这个成长过程所带给你的，你去感激它，这样造就了现在的你。那我们来看看课文范例怎么说。
So we're back to our example topic here of growing up solo or being an only child.And here's how this person concludes it. So, while being alone could be hard, while it could be difficult, I'm grateful that I grew up the way I did. So nowadays, of course, we have lots of parents out there who don't want to have children at all, or if they do want to have children, they only want to have 1 or 2. So yes, lots of kids are growing up as an only child. So that might be hard. Like for me and Hanny, I think we grew up with lots of brothers and sisters. We always had other siblings to do things with. But nowadays we've got people who are growing up by themselves. And it can be hard, it can be difficult, but in this particular case, the person is grateful or thankful that he or she grew up that way.
好，我们想到这个独生子啊，没有同年纪的朋友可以一起玩，就会觉得哇，这个成长过程好像蛮孤单的。毕竟我们现在是在写自我介绍，是要给人好印象。那现在我们就可以把这个好的特质带出来，然后做总结说，哦，感谢这个经历造就现在的自己可以这样有漫画的嗜好啊，去做创作等等，很感激过去的这个过程。那回到这个很有表演欲的这个情境当中呢，他也有参加那种儿童剧场的演出啊，然后他真的很爱成为这种众人关注的焦点，很愿意去表演这样子。那在做总结的时候呢，也许就可以去重申对表演的喜好，然后去感谢家人的鼓励这样子。也许你就可以写说，我不知道自己为什么这么喜欢表演，但是我很感激父母鼓励我去追求我的兴趣。好，那我们请 Roger 老师告诉我们这个句子可以怎么说。
Okay, so we're back to performing here. It says, I don't really know why I like performing so much, but I'm grateful to my parents for encouraging me to pursue my interests. Yeah, a lot of people don't really know why they like a particular activity or a particular field of study. You may not know exactly why you like microbiology, but you just love it. You don't know why. And in this particular case, the writer doesn't know why he or she likes performing.The person is grateful to his or her parents because the parents encouraged me to pursue my interests. Do what you want to do, even though going to acting school may not result in a high-paying job. You can still follow your dreams. Okay, now it's time for part 2, and we've got our essay here, a little bit about me. So it begins by saying, I'm an only child. During my childhood, I lived with my parents in an apartment building in which few other kids were residents. In addition, my mom went back to her accounting job after I started 6th grade. So I had no choice but to spend a lot of time by myself after school.That was boring sometimes, but it also taught me how to take care of myself better than some kids can. For example, I learned to do the laundry and to have dinner ready when my parents got home. So here our essay is about being an only child. And again, the person comes right out and says it. I'm an only child, so growing up may have been difficult. There weren't other kids in my apartment building.And then my mom went back to her accounting job when I began the 6th grade. Accounting, of course, is counting numbers and money and stuff like that. And so the mother returned to her accounting job because the kid was already pretty much independent enough so that she didn't need to be a full-time mother. So I had no choice but to spend a lot of time by myself after school. So I had no choice. I had to do this because mom wasn't home yet. Dad, of course, was working someplace, so I had to spend a lot of time solo. Well, it could be boring, but I learned how to take care of myself better than other kids could.And here's an example. I learned to wash clothes, to do the laundry, and also to cook food, to have dinner ready when my parents got home. And my parents always complimented me that my food, my meals were oh so tasty.
好，我们来看看第一个段落呢，它有一个句子写到说 My mom went back to her accounting job. 好，这边的 go back to something 就是表达重新开始做某事或者是重操旧业的意思。那么 accounting 则是表达会计啊、会计学或者是记账。好，那再来有一个句型，它是说 have no choice but to do something， 这是别无选择，只能怎么样，不得不怎么样怎么样。Have no choice but to do something， 就是说可能迫于情势，别无选择，你不得不做某事。特别注意 choice 在这边是用单数型，那这个 but 在这边表示除了什么什么之外，后面是要接不定词片语 to be 这样子。那我们也补充一下，你还可以用 leave somebody with no choice but to do something， 这也是表达说使某人除了什么什么之外就别无选择了。好，那我们接着来看下一个段落。
Okay, here's the next paragraph as part of our essay, A Little Bit About Me. It goes on to say, spending time solo also led me to pursue some interesting hobbies. I started reading various mangas, and one of my favorites was haiku. I like to imagine myself in the story, and eventually, I even started illustrating and writing stories of my own. I've been doing that for a few years now, and I've really boosted my skills. I make mangas with characters that everyone knows, and I've also created some original characters. And now many of my classmates like to read my mangas. So while being alone could be hard, I'm grateful that I grew up the way I did. So interesting here, of course, our writer was an only child, and the writer says that spending time alone or solo led this person to pursue or to have some interesting hobbies. For example, the writer liked to read mangas, which are Japanese comic books. And of course, her favorite, was haiku. I like to imagine myself in the story. And she began to illustrate and write stories. To illustrate means to draw pictures to go along with text. And of course, you need to write the stories as well. And the writer says that he or she has been doing that for a few years, and the skills have increased. Mangas here, in this particular case, the writer's manga characters are ones people can recognize. And also the writer created some his or her own original characters, and the classmates like to read the writer's mangas. So yes, indeed, being solo or alone or being an only child was difficult. I'm still thankful and grateful that I grew up that way. I wouldn't have it any other way.
好，我们现在看第二个段落。那这边这个 spending time solo， 我们刚刚也有听到 Roger 老师讲很多次，他一直有用这个 alone 来替换，所以同学们应该猜得出来 solo 它其实就是指说独自的或是独自的、单独的、单独的，它可以当副词或者是当形容词。所以当你说 travel solo， 那就表示独自旅行咯，一个人去旅行这样。好，再看到下一个单字 pursue， 它可以表达追捕，也可以表达追求啊、从事。当你说 pursue your dreams 就是表达去追求你的梦想嘛。那么 illustrate 这个动词呢，则是可能是给这个书籍、杂志等等来画这个插画，或者是它可以表达你可能像书上面它有另外用例子或是图表来做说明，也是用 illustrate 这个动词表达。好，那补充一下，有一个字叫 manga， 那它其实就是来自日文用语，用来指这个日本漫画的意思。再看到这一段落最后有用到 grateful 这个形容词，它是表达感激的，表示感谢的。我们通常就会用 be grateful to somebody， 向某人表达感激。那你若是为了某件事而感谢，则是用 for 去接名词或动名词，所以你可以用 be grateful to somebody for something， 为了某件事向某人表达感激。好，那么以上就是今天的讲解重点。
Yes, indeed, I am grateful for your explanation there, Hanny. It is excellent, and it helps everybody improve their writing skills. So there you have it. How to write about yourself, and if your teacher gives you such an assignment, hopefully our lesson today will help you write that essay. Whether you talk about growing up or your personality or your hobbies, you'll come up with a wonderful essay, I'm sure of it. From all of us here at All+ Interactive English, my name is Roger.
And I'm Hanny.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.